Little bit, but we're going to begin with Toyota under fire. Brian Ross is on Capitol here, where CEO Toyoda, the company's president, will appear later today. Brian?
Good morning, George. Well, it's showdown day for the badly damaged company, and its CEO has a lot to account for. He will speak in Japanese to Congress through a translator, and according to his prepared remarks, he will admit the company grew too fast, now paying the price for putting growth and profits ahead of quality and safety. As the grandson of the Toyota founder, Akio Toyoda is often called the Prince, a prince who has spent much of this year bowing in apology again and again for his company's safety defects. The question today is, will he bow before Congress, and how low?
The deeper you bow, the greater the respect you show, which in Bushido samurai days would mean that you are offering your head.
At Tuesday's congressional hearing, Toyota's top U.S. official got an earful from members of Congress and survivors of runaway Toyota accident.
I put the car into all available gears, including neutral, but then I put it in reverse, and it remains in reverse as the car speeds to over 100 miles per hour down the interstate. I called my husband on the Bluetooth phone system. I knew I'm sorry. I knew he could not help me, but I wanted to hear his voice one more time. And today, I must say, shame on you, Toyota, for being so greedy.
Among the witnesses today is Kevin Haggerty of New Jersey, who says Toyota has yet to explain to him why his Avalon went suddenly out of control.
It just took off. So I knew I needed to control the car. It started accelerating, started going faster and faster.
Shifting in and out of neutral, Haggerty was able to head to the local Toyota dealer so they could see for themselves what was going on.
I pulled up right to here. The brakes were smoking and the tires were smoking.
Haggerty says he believes his car had an electronic glitch, but the Toyota tried to blame the problem on a sticky gas pedal. There have been thousands of complaints like Haggerty, and the Secretary of Transportation now says a new and full investigation is warranted.
We will not rest until we finally find out if electronics are a part of this problem.
Toyota officials on Tuesday acknowledged for the first time that there could be an electronic problem, telling Congress that with all the recalls for floor mats and sticky gas pedals, they still have not totally fixed the problem of its runaway cars. George?
Thanks, Brian. And for more on this, let me bring in the ranking Republican on the House Oversight Committee holding this hearing today, Congressman Issa of California. Congressman, thanks for being with us. Let's pick up on where Brian left off right there. Toyota cannot rule out that electronic problems are causing this acceleration. What more does Toyota need to do right now?
Well, I think they're doing the most important thing, which is instead of saying they've got the fix, it's already done, or overlooking anomalies, they're now doing what they can do, establishing a fail-safe system, and looking into doing more. That's exactly what they should have begun doing in 2004. We're glad to see it beginning today.
Based on what you've seen so far, do you think electronics are causing this acceleration problem?
Well, electronics could be the cause. But we have to remember one thing. There's no looking back on electronics. If we give up auto electronics, we give up the efficiency and safety of ABS, of traction control, and the economy improvements we've had through electronic transmissions and engine control modules. So we've got to get this right going forward.
The chairman of the House Energy and Commerce Committee, who had the hearing yesterday, Congressman Waxman, says that new legislation may be needed, though, to give the federal government the ability to assess these electronic systems and take care of problems when they crop up. Do you agree?
Not at all. NHTSA is an $18.4 million entity. The auto companies, major auto companies, spend $86 billion in R&D. Our job is to see when something's not safe, task them to get it right, and see that they get it right, not to engineer for them or be anything more than the watchdog that we haven't been for a great many years.
But isn't that part of the problem, that the government doesn't have the tools to keep up with the auto companies?
NHTSA's problem is it abandoned known problems and proposed fixes either here or around the world, and now is trying to play catch-up years after they dismissed problems that they knew they should have addressed.
You pushed hard to get Akio Toyoda to appear today. At first, he didn't want to do it. First of all, do you expect him to bow when he comes before the committee today? And what's the most important thing you need to hear from him?
the most important thing I need to hear from Akio Toyoda is, in fact, that he's going to keep the promise he's been making on television, that good companies fix their mistakes and great companies learn from them. He's got to talk to us about his vision going forward to have Toyota Way include proactive and responsive safety as one of the most important things for Toyota. It hasn't been true in the past. It needs to be true in the future.
Finally, your Republican colleague, Governor Haley Barbour of Mississippi, has worried about a rush to judgment. He writes it in the Washington Post this morning against Toyota, and he thinks there may be a thumb on the scale for U.S. auto companies because they've received so much U.S. government assistance. Has there been a rush to judgment here?
Well, certainly there's been some excess since they began piling on Toyota. You know, Corolla has a recall when the General Motors Cobalt has more than 5 times as many complaints similar for a longer period of time. But, you know, Haley Barbour told me something years ago. He said Congress only does 2 things well, nothing at all and overreact. And let's hope that we don't do either one of those this time.
Okay, Congressman, thanks very much for your time this morning.
You're very welcome.